What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Cuz TV channel. We are officially now in playoff form as we are bringing you our wild card round picks this week. Our results are finalized for the regular season. This video is just going to be for fun. We'll take you through the games, analyze them, give you some scores, let you know about the over-unders and all that wonderful stuff. As always, in these videos, I am joined by my good buddy Jeff. What's going on, man?
How's it going, buddy?
Ready for the playoffs? Gonna have a fun weekend, I feel like. 6 games for the first time ever in one weekend for the playoffs, so that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, I think got some intriguing matchups, and like you said, just having 6 games in one weekend, it's going to be an interesting twist.
Yeah, they're all back to back too each day. Perfect. If you're looking for a lazy weekend to not enjoy some COVID, this is your this is your way to do it, I suppose. And as always, I am joined by my special guest and good buddy, Dr. Wes. What's going on, man?
I can't even call you by a relative name today because I'm just sad that it's over.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Wes, maybe you won't be so sad because before we get into the results, I have to have a little bit of build up here. So all year long, we have been making picks on this channel, straight up picks. And, Dr. West has won a lot of these weeks, I guess. He's done really well for himself. And Jeff and I came into week 17, both down by 3 games. So we had to throw some Hail Marys, if you will, Jeff, in order to beat Dr. West. But I think that it's kind of hard to beat somebody that picks every single damn game correctly.
Yeah, that's next to impossible.
Yeah.
I'm riding high, guys.
The odds were not in our favor, if you're a Hunger Games fan on this one, as Dr. West ran the table last week. If you don't believe us, go check out last week's video. Every single game picked correctly. Congratulations, Dr. West.
What I was trying to figure out was if every week that we had done this, if I had just parlayed my bets for the week, would I have ended up on top? If I had done a 16-game parlay, what would that have paid? I bet it would have been a pretty good return.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm riding high right now. I wasn't feeling great. You guys, if you remember the video last week, if you watch it, I wasn't feeling confident about a lot of the picks, but everything broke my way, and I can't complain. I got a perfect record, and that's really hard to do in the NFL. So I'm happy.
Yeah.
I will never again pick Andy Dalton to win an important game.
That's a great point. How many times have you heard this?
Yeah.
Andy Dalton falls short in must-win game.
Right.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah.
I know, man. I didn't listen to you. I had temporary amnesia from his days as a Bengal, but
his that toss-up that he did, like towards the back of the end zone, that was intercepted, was just so classic Andy Dalton. It wasn't even
on third down too. Yeah, like you had another down, bro. Like throw it away.
That whole series there was a microcosm of the Cowboys season, just ineptitude all the way around, and then capped off with an Andy Dalton turnover.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
I mean, what else are you looking for with Andy Dalton in that situation, I guess? So, I mean, if he had scored a touchdown there, I would have been shocked, honestly, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now Marvin Lewis is rumored to be a top candidate for a lot of jobs, and so
here we
go. Say God bless him. God bless those fan bases.
Here we go. Best of luck with Marvin Lewis to all y'all out there. That's for sure.
Although, I don't know, Zach Taylor kind of makes him look like Vince Lombardi, so maybe there's some hope for those teams that are relying on Marvin Lewis.
That is very true, yeah. If you guys are ready, no giveaway this week, right, Dr. West? These are just 6 picks. Unfortunately, no one was able to beat Dr. West because he had a perfect score, so...
I had just all these cards sitting here.
Yeah.
How about this? If somebody can pick all 6 correct, I will give them all these cards.
Wow.
So, okay. All right.
We got the GOT game, Lamar Jackson, the Hall of Fame, Troy Polamalu, the Josh Allen card, the Tua Tagovailoa NBA NFL debut.
Out of the playoffs, Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. The green parallel, Miles Sanders rookie with his patch in there. And then the newest one I'm going to add in honor of the lowly Eagles, the Jalen Hurts rookie card.
Ooh, Absolute Football. I think I pulled that one.
Yeah, so if people can get 6 of 6, if somebody, the first one to get 6 of 6, I'll send it to them.
All right. You guys heard it here. Leave a like on the video and leave your comments down in the picks, guys. We're starting off on fire here already. Leave your picks down in the comments. Pick all 6 games correctly, straight up, of course. You are entered to win Dr. West's giveaway here. You guys ready? 6 games
Let's do
for
it.
the playoffs. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. We're going to go chronologically here, starting on Saturday afternoon, the 1 o'clock game. We've got the 11-5 Indianapolis Colts traveling to the 13-3 Buffalo Bills. Buffalo about a touchdown home favorite here in the playoffs. Kind of shocking, I feel like, with an over-under set at 51.5. Before the games last week, though, guys, Indy was on the outside looking in for the AFC playoffs, but an untimely loss by the Dolphins to these Bills resulted in Indy getting this final 7 seed spot in the AFC. They did go 8-3, quote unquote, down the stretch, winning 4 of their last 5 to get here. And they actually surprisingly averaged nearly 30 points a game in their last 5, despite very unmemorable play, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills, though, on the other hand, have won 6 in a row, and we said it every week. It would be 10 in a row now if not for that Hail Murray by the Cardinals. This offense is absolutely humming, though, guys. They're averaging more than 40 points a game in their last 5. Like, absolutely insane pace they're on right here. These teams did not meet in the regular season. So, Jeff, we start here with you every single week. Can your spirit animal Josh Allen lead the Bills to their first playoff win since 1995?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a perfect setup for Josh Allen to kind of capture the hearts and minds of the MVP voters. I think Aaron Rodgers kind of already has that wrapped up. But if you look at last week, he was on fire, got pulled in the middle of the game because they were beating the Dolphins so handily. And Indy's just a hard team to kind of peg to get right each week. That division's been kind of up and down. I just feel like Buffalo's got all the momentum here. Plus, they're playing at home. I would say Buffalo wins this one 31-21. I think the spread's too low.
31-21. Okay, Dr. West, where are you going?
I'm going to preface this by saying these are two teams that I often get wrong. Like you said, the Colts are hard to figure out, and the Bills, I have been doubting them all year. I've been a late adapter on them, a late adopter, I guess I should say. I'm going to take the Bills. I actually think this will be a pretty close game. I think that it's going to be interesting seeing the good Indianapolis Colts defense versus this high-powered offense, which you don't typically think of when you think of a Bills team historically. With that being said, I'm thinking it's going to be something along the lines of 27-21, 27-24 Bills.
Okay, so you think it's going to be under 51.5 then, Dr. West?
I think so. I think it's going to be cold, Orchard Park, playoff football. I can see it being low.
Gotcha. Okay. So actually, I have a funny stat for you guys, and I was taking a look at Buffalo earlier today. So Buffalo, their last 3 playoff losses, get this, have come against the Texans last year, 2019, the Jaguars in 2017, and the Titans in 1999. So the AFC South has not been kind to the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs since the late 90s. I am going to take the Bills here, though. They are getting, oh my gosh, I literally just had the name on my tip. John Brown back. I apologize. They are getting John Brown back. Speedster guy on the outside. They can extend. I don't think they're going to be able to get the running game going, so look for Josh Allen to tear this Colts team apart, who I don't know how they're here, to be frank. Like, 100% honest, I don't know why they're here. They get over the AFC South hump. I'm going to take 34-23 and a shootout-y kind of game that's not going to feel very shootout-y.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I think Indy's D's a bit of a mirage, and Buffalo's D's nothing to write home about. So this should be a fun game, assuming there's not some crazy weather. I could definitely see this exceeding the over.
Yep. So I think we're all taking the Bills, and we're all taking 6.5. It sounded like we all had about 10-point spreads in there. I think so.
No, I would take the Colts plus 6.5.
Okay.
I was thinking 21-7, 27, or 24-27.
Oh, I thought you said 27-17. Sorry, Dr. West. Yep.
No problem.
Cool. All right, we're going to take a Buffalo sweep here. Now I'll move to our Saturday mid-afternoon game. The 10-6 Los Angeles Rams traveling to the 12-4 division-winning Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks 4-point home favorites up there in the Pacific Northwest with an over-under only at 43 for this game. In a super competitive NFC West this season, these were the only 2 teams to make it out, with Seattle earning that coveted home game. If there was a team limping into the playoffs, though, it's the Rams with losses to the Jets and the Seahawks. before beating the Cardinals in Week 17 to earn the 6th seed in the NFC. The Rams are hoping to have Goff back, while the Seahawks won their final 4 games to end the season, and in those 4 games, they only allowed an average of 12.5 points per game, so this defense kicked it up at the end of the regular season. Dr. Westo, these teams split their regular season series. Who comes away with the win in the tiebreaker?
I think the major question is whether or not they have an NFL starting quarterback.
Yeah.
If you have Wolford out there, I mean, as much as he did what he had to do to get them into the playoffs, but it's another task going into Seattle and beating this rejuvenated Seattle defense. So I would hammer this -4. I love the Seattle Seahawks in this game. Even with Goff, I love them at -4. I think I would take the over. I think that Seattle is going to kick the doors off of the Rams. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 31-7.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I did not see.
That would actually be the under. So I wouldn't bet the over under, but I would definitely hammer -4.
All right, -4, 37, and the under for Seattle. All right, Jeff, where are you going?
I mean, I agree with Wes that Seattle wins this, and they're definitely going to put up the spreads not on their favor. But I don't see them putting up that many points. This is still a defense that has Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and Seattle's been kind of stuck in neutral offensively. So I think Seattle wins this. I think they win it by double digits, but I'm saying more along the lines of 21-10.
Jeff, we're on the. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that's based on Goff not playing. If Goff does play, which I don't think he's going to, I could see it being a closer game. But for the most part right now, I would say 21-10. If Goff plays, I would say maybe, that's worth maybe another 4 points, 21-14. But 21-10 is what I'm thinking.
Jeff, we are on the same page, my friend. I'm also taking Seattle. I also love the -4 here. People forget that, there is no 12th man in Seattle, but it's still a home game up there in, January now. So who knows what might be going on up there. But I have not been impressed with the Rams at all this year. The Seahawks defense has seriously stepped up, and the Rams defense is still pretty good. I think this game is a snooze fest. I think this game comes well under 43 points. I think Seattle wins 20-13. Not a fun one. I don't know if I'll watch this one. I might see if How I Met Your Mother's on or something like that for this game. I don't have much interest in watching this one. I don't know about you guys, but this might be the last game on my list that I want to watch over the weekend, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be a little higher up there if Goff was healthy. I mean, he still has McVay, but yeah, matchup with Russell Wilson versus the AAF All-Star is not something I'm looking forward to.
Touche. Yep, Seattle rolling here at home against the Rams. That takes us to Saturday Night Football in a fun one. We got the 11-5 Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to the division-winning 7-9 Washington Buckeyes, as we like to call them here on the channel. Tampa, 8.5-point road favorites in D.C. with an over-under set at 45. Tom Brady is officially in playoff form, though, guys. The Bucs are averaging 45 points a game in their past 2 wins. It was against the Lions and Falcons, though. But they closed their season with 4 straight wins. And they are the road team, though, in this playoff matchup with the 7-9 Washington football team, who earned a division title with their win over the controversial Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday night. Washington, though, they have not allowed more than 20 points in their last 7 games, which is remarkable, honestly. Crazy defense. A stretch where they went 5-2, with the 2 losses being with Dwayne Haskins at quarterback. Jeff, who comes up with the win on Saturday night?
Well, I'm looking at an injury update, and I see, today was a projected walkthrough. Mike Evans didn't participate. Alex Smith and Antonio Gibson didn't participate. So to me, that's way more alarming than Mike Evans. I mean, we all saw how Antonio Brown filled in after Evans kind of went down. He had a good week. They still have a lot more weapons, and Tom Brady. If Alex Smith isn't playing in this game, that's a nightmare scenario for Washington, who barely made it in to the playoffs. So I think Tom Brady, this is why he signed with Tampa Bay, right? He's chasing another ring. He wants to prove he can do it without Bill Belichick. And he couldn't ask for a more ideal first-round matchup. I know Washington's front 7 is pretty stout, but Tampa's got this. Washington, maybe next year. But I would say Tampa's going to win this 31-24.
Sorry,
I'm sorry, 31-14.
Okay, 31-14. So taking the
Yeah.
Tampa under 8.5. Dr. Wes, you've been a Buckeyes fan, a Washington Buckeyes fan this year. Can you take them at home here?
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed watching them. Alex Smith, low key, has a cannon for an arm still for an old man. There's a lot of plays where he was under pressure and he didn't even have what he has left for legs underneath him, and he would just sling it, some bullets. So I think he is the right man for the job, and I really do like that front seven. They can put a lot of pressure on the statue of Tom Brady. Um, that being said, I can't be foolish enough to pick against the Buccaneers. I think they're clearly the better team all around. But I think that the Washingtons will keep this close and make it interesting. And I think this will be a low scoring defensive struggle. Both defenses are pretty good. I think that the Bucks will win probably. I'm going to say 20-16.
Okay, taking the under, but then it sounds like you like Washington plus 8.5. Then.
I do like Washington plus 8.5.
Okay, the being
and
at
I
home,
think that number will get higher. If you got it to 10, I would smash it.
Yeah, I mean the Tom Brady love in the playoffs is going to come through here on these lines for sure. We still have 4 days until these games are played, so it is Tuesday evening. So yeah, I can see us getting the 10, and why not go Washington plus 10 here at home? Defense has been pretty good. Like I mentioned, they're holding teams under 20 points. So if you're taking plus 10 and a team that's only going to score 23 points, like the math adds up there for sure. But yeah, I can't go against Tom here in the playoffs. I'm a Patriots fan. If you've seen all of our other videos, you know that. He's coming back to the Northeast where he had all those playoff wins there in Foxborough. Yes, it's obviously not Foxborough, but the weather won't be a factor there for him. He should be right at home here in DC. I'm taking the Bucks 27-17. So the line feels good to me right now, plus 8.5. I might stay away from this one because I don't have a good read. I think the Bucks win, and as we've seen, the NFC East has been Tom Brady's kryptonite over his career in the playoffs. So who knows what might happen in this game? Taking the Bucks though.
Yeah, but this isn't your father's New York Giants teams that beat him all those years. This is a team that limped into the playoffs that quite honestly doesn't deserve to be there. I don't care how good their defense is. Tom Brady smashes here.
Yep. Let's roll. Yeah, we've got 3 sweeps thus far. We get to our early Sunday afternoon game, and guys, this is my game of the weekend. I absolutely love this game. 2 teams, 11-5. Baltimore traveling to Tennessee. Tennessee, a 3-point home dog here as the division winner to Baltimore with an over-under at a weekend high 55. Only the Buffalo Bills come into the playoffs with a longer win streak than the Ravens, who have won 5 in a row to claim the 5 seed here in the playoffs, a game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. They are averaging 37 points a game in those 5 wins. But Tennessee, they are no stranger to points as well this year. Tennessee, they won 3 of their last 4 games to lock up the AFC South title, including an insane 41-38 win over Houston. I don't know if you all watched the end of that game. I thought it was going to go to overtime, and when you know it, Tannehill finds A.J. Brown for like a 50-yarder to set up a field goal. Tennessee is averaging 33 points a game across their last 5, so I think we're going to see some fireworks in this game. Dr. West, who are you taking in what is arguably the best game of Wild Card Weekend?
Yeah, if you're looking for shootout offensive power, like, chicks dig the long ball, like this is the game. I think that, in my opinion, I think that Lamar Jackson is going to get the monkey off of his back and win a playoff game. I know it's asking a lot against a very good team. I think this is probably the worst draw they could have gotten for a first-round match. So the Titans have historically had their number. But in a revenge-type game, I see Lamar just getting it done. I think it's going to be 35-31 Baltimore.
Wow. Jeff, really quick, I see a shootout here too, 35-31. I got 38-34 Ravens in a really, really fun game, I feel like. I will say really quick, these teams met in the divisional round last year. Tennessee won 28-12, but Lamar Jackson threw for 365 yards and ran for 143 in a game where they only scored 12 points. So looking for revenge here. I think Lamar gets it this year. Jeff, where are you going?
I'm going to break the tie here. We got to do something different, right?
Oh.
I'm going to go with the Titans. They're playing at home. Yeah, Baltimore's looked a lot better recently, but who have they played? They've been feasting on. Yeah, they look great against the Bengals. Congratulations. That's an accomplishment. Lamar Jackson is not a good passer, and I think that's what they're going to need. This Tennessee team showed that they could hold his rushing game in check. I mean, I know you quoted the stats. He put up astronomical numbers last year, but they only put up 12 points. They couldn't handle Derrick Henry. I'm going to buck the trend here. Give me the Titans in a 28-24 home victory.
Okay, Derrick Henry ran for 190 yards in that game last year as well. That was a key factor. I think he had like 30 carries for 190 yards, and we just saw what he did to Houston's defense last week. Just they were bowling pins in his bowling ball like manner as he ran down the field. So, can the Ravens stop Derrick Henry is the question for this game. We both know they can score, but can you stop Derrick Henry? I guess is the question that will be asked of this Ravens defense. That will take us to Sunday mid-afternoon game. The 8-8 Chicago Bears traveling to the 12-4 New Orleans Saints. Saints 10-point home favorite here against these Bears with an over-under at 47.5. Chicago was able to lock up a wild card spot despite the loss to the Packers due to the Rams that we just discussed defeating my Cardinals, unfortunately, 18-7. The Bears come in with a little bit of offensive firepower, though, averaging 31 points a game over their past 5 since Mitch Trubisky took back over this offense. But they get a very difficult test as New Orleans boasts one of the best defenses in the league. And don't forget, Drew Brees is looking to win in what could be his final go-around. So, Jeff, does the final Brees Super Bowl run begin with a win, or will Chicago play spoiler?
No, Chicago is not going to play spoiler here. Breeze is motivated. I think the writing's on the wall. This is going to be his last year, so he's going to do everything he can. Alvin Kamara is going to help in that quest. The Chicago Bears, they're kind of in an odd place with Trubisky. He has played better of late to the point that I think earlier in the season they were ready to give up on him, and now he's got a contract that's ending at the end of this season. So they're kind of in a no man's land with him. They can't let him walk, but they don't want to sign him to a long-term deal. Probably gets the franchise tag, but maybe playing well here can get them to that long-term deal that they're seeking, a la Joe Flacco when he made his miraculous run to the Super Bowl a few years ago. I don't think that's going to happen. Chicago played a good team last week in Green Bay. They hung in there for a while, but they just don't have the horses. This game is going to be a pretty easy victory for the Saints. I'm saying 28-17.
2017. I think the Saints are getting Michael Thomas back for this game as well, who was on IR. He should be ready for this game. Kamara, who had COVID, should be ready for this game. So, Dr. West, where are you going?
I'm going to take the Saints, but I'm going to say, as a spoiler alert for later shows, that I think the Saints are just not. I think they're kind of fraudulent. I don't think they're going to be good enough to make a deep run in the playoffs. Behind Breeze's noodle arm, I just don't. I know that they have. I always like teams that have good defenses in the playoffs, but I just have not been impressed with them lately. Just by the eye test, they don't pass it for me. But lucky for them, they're coming up against the Bears, who I've been a doubter of all year, and for better or for worse. And I just don't see Trubisky being a playoff hero. So at home, I'm going to take the Saints in probably a relatively high-scoring game. Probably give me 31 Saints, 21 Bears.
Wow, Dr. West, we have flip-flopped on all of our thoughts on how these games are going to go thus far.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be low scoring with a Saints defense that doesn't allow points, and the Bears defense can limit. Maybe Drew Brees isn't still fully healthy, but with New Orleans at home here, Drew Brees playing for his career now at this point. This is a much better story for the playoffs than this mediocre Bears team, who honestly I don't think is very good at all. That's why they lost 6 games in a row in the middle of the year. New Orleans crushes Chicago 27-13 at home.
All right.
In a low
scoring, I can see that.
Under. Taking the under here. Last game of the weekend, though, guys. Sunday evening, AFC North battle. The 11-5 Cleveland Browns travel to the 12-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers about a touchdown home favorite here, 6 points currently. Over-under set at 47. In our second same division matchup of the weekend, Cleveland honestly may be in a little bit of trouble here, as Cleveland is going through yet another COVID outbreak this week. Head coach Kevin Stefanski will miss this game due to COVID, along with 2 other coaches. And Pro Bowl guard Joel Bitonio will miss this game as well. Pittsburgh, after starting 11-0, has lost 4 of their last 5, and they limp into the playoffs with that vaulted defense we talked about all year, giving up at least 23 points in their last 5 games. Dr. Wes, who wins the AFC North playoff showdown?
I am intrigued by this news about the COVID. I think that Stefanski, obviously missing your head coach who traditionally calls all the plays, that's a major problem. I was tempted to take the Browns before hearing that news today, but given that, I'm going to take the Steelers, who probably would have won regardless. But I do think this is going to be another, I said this when they played before, that's going to be a relatively low-scoring struggle type of game. I will take the Steelers at 27-10.
27-10. Okay. Jeff, where are you going, man?
The second string Pittsburgh Steelers almost beat the same Cleveland squad last week. I believe the points differential for Cleveland going into the playoffs season wide is they're -11, which is the lowest of all the playoff teams that are eligible. And then missing Stefanski, all the injuries, or not necessarily injuries, but the COVID concerns. I think they're a team that's just happy to be there. They finally got that monkey off their back. Pittsburgh's not a great team, but they've shown that when they're missing key players, like last week, they weren't even trying to win, that they were still able to hang with them and quite honestly had a shot to win that game up until the very end. Give me the Steelers. This will be a low-scoring affair. I would say 24-13.
I, too, completely agree with all that. I'm also going to take the under in this game and take the Steelers. Pittsburgh is just the better team overall, let's be honest. Even, with this COVID outbreak that Cleveland has going on, we saw this game, that game against the Jets, where they're missing all their wide receivers. When they can't practice, when they're missing key pieces, they look out of sync. They're going to be missing their head coach. That's not going to help at all. He's been a focal point for this offense for the whole season. I think in order to beat Pittsburgh, you do have to be at 100% full strength here. Let's not forget they were 11-0 to start the year. This team, it's not a walkover team by any means, and Pittsburgh's at home. They win 27-17 with the under, and Pittsburgh -6 here.
Do you think the Browns try and move Beckham in the offseason?
Yes.
Sure hope so.
Yes. I think they have to get rid of him at this point. He's almost a liability to the offense with how he acts, and as we've seen, they don't need him to do well. Higgins has filled in fine. Peoples-Jones has filled in fine. So, I think he's gone. Who takes him, though, is the question. Where will he fit?
Yes, there you go. With that contract, what about Roethlisberger? Is he coming back next year? Assuming they don't win the Super Bowl, because I don't think they will. Is Roethlisberger coming back to the Steelers?
Oh, man. Dr. West, what do you think? I don't know.
I think he will. I don't think that – the problem is they can't really cut him. He means too much to the organization, but I wouldn't be surprised if they took somebody, maybe late in the first round or second round to try to groom behind him.
Yeah. Mason Rudolph.
Make a move for Darnold. That's what they should do.
See, I think that'd be a good fit for Darnold, to be honest. Move him to a place where he doesn't have the pressure to start now for a year. I may not want to agree, but Mike Tomlin's not a terrible coach by any means.
Excellent coach.
Yeah, this is coming as we're Bengals fans, so we're like, oh, it's Mike Tomlin. He effing sucks, right? But he's a pretty good coach. He recognizes talent, as you see. They don't take wide receivers, but the ones they do take turn out really well. So he's got a good offensive mind. I think Ben's time is coming to an end. He looks old. Looks like he's not playing well. So yeah, I think it's a good call.
The thing I hate about Tomlin is that he cannot manage a clock to save his life. It's so freaking frustrating to watch him. They need to hire a 20-year-old that's played Madden for the last 10 years and just only let him just be clock management for Mike Tomlin. Be like, hey, Mike, you might want to, hit a timeout here.
So what you're saying is they need to hire a common sense coach.
Yes. I mean, But
He's
it
got the
seems like all
strategy
these
down. It's just the common. He's a football savant. It's just the basics that
it's
elude
all
him.
these boomers that didn't grow up playing Madden like we did, that they
Yep.
don't understand clock management. It's like
Yeah.
what you have to do in Madden.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
but
you're
it's a
saying
different
like they should hire to like what the sideline guy was for Sean McVay. They need that guy for Mike Tomlin.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's not going to know any of the plays or how to, do a zone blocking scheme, but he'll tell you that, hey, you probably should call a timeout here. Or, hey,
Yeah.
don't do a run play with 30 seconds left if you think you are trying to get into field goal position with no timeouts.
I think that's smart. Yeah, have a guy who majored in Madden who minored in analytics. Madden game analytics. Well, guys, that will do it for this video. We'll keep this one nice and short for you. Any final thoughts heading into Wild Card weekend?
I think it's going to be fun. A lot of games back to back Saturday, Sunday. Grab your popcorn, as T.O. said, and enjoy it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Playoff weekend.
Hit that Seattle -4, people. That's what I'm saying.
Lock it in. Is that your lock of the week,
That's
Dr.
the
West?
absolute lock of the week.
All right.
Get 6 of 6. You get all these cards. We got so many cards now. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah. Get your picks in those comments below. Win those cards from Dr. West. Come on, y'all. He's adding more because y'all can't beat him is the problem. Let's go.
I mean, just want to start fanning.
Yeah,
myself.
fan yourself out into that hot week. 16 for 16 last week. That would have been one hell of a money line parlay. Unfortunately, I don't believe you made that, Dr. West. But that's okay, though. It did come through.
I don't live in a legal state, unfortunately.
That is very true. Very, very unfortunate. But that will do it for our wild card round pick'ems. That is a mouthful for some reason. We hope to see you guys here next week for our divisional round video. See you guys.
All right, good luck. Good night and good luck.